Well, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why my artwork is so badass and everyone else's suck? Well, I have the answer for you. Today, joining us, a special guest on Wyatt Flores and Friends podcast, we got Chloe Tyler with us, the mastermind of all the album artwork that has came out, and we're going to go through all the stuff that she has created for this album, which is just absolutely incredible, and finally put a face to the name, even though she might be a little weird.
Hey, fuck you. Okay, so I guess we'll just start talking about where the inspiration came from. Obviously, Welcome to the Plains blew my mind for sure, and immediately brought a ton of imagery. But Oh Susanna definitely hit home. I don't know, the idea of you being like a fallen savior, I guess. And I was kind of hoping to create like this big crowd of people carrying you somewhere, not necessarily anywhere, but somewhere out of your control. Because essentially, I don't know, your whole entire come up has been 100% out of your control.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of just making art and everyone's responding. So that was kind of the idea I was going with. Was at first I was thinking about them throwing you off a cliff, which kind of for some reason felt gosh, I don't know why. That was just what I was going with at first. I was like, yeah, they're gonna toss him off for sure. But I really loved the line, oh gosh, where you say that the world isn't so nice. Which song is that?
It's Angels Over You.
Yeah. That line really stuck with me. 'Cause I'm sure that you've learned recently, especially, you know, with getting more and more fame, I suppose, that the world will take you for all you're worth.
Yeah, it definitely will. That was, I guess, a big shocker to me. But honestly, I had no idea that Oh Susanna was, because, you know, I've been kind of saving all these questions until I finally get to sit down and talk with you rather than just texting or calling.
Yeah.
But
Where was the inspiration for that one? I'm curious.
I mean, really, it was just after the whole mental health break. And I mean, the song just kind of fell out of the heavens. It was.
I think that is even more
I'm in shock right now.
perfect, though, than I think, because it is a whole crowd of people like lifting you up, and that is a lot of what you need when you are dealing with a lot of mental health stuff. And I don't know, I think that
I wasn't expecting to feel this emotional towards the artwork this early in this conversation. Is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just, oh my gosh, I loved everything. And I remember the first call that we had about it, where you were just first starting, and I was like, well,
I'm going to whip out my notes here.
Yeah, you started going through all your ideas, and I was like, Chloe, I love every single thing that you're doing. You run. Just run with it all. And
okay, Don't Want to Say Goodnight. That was the one with the really incredible swell of the drums and like acoustic guitar. It just immediately gave me the image of like cattle and horses running across plains.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, it was the first one that you guys released off the album.
Yep.
And I think it was so perfect to just, you know, basically welcome everybody to the plains. To the plains. But yeah, that was a huge, huge one. I have it underlined like 4 times.
So,
it says magical, chills, timeless.
well, thank you.
Paired with a hard ripping electric guitar, which was also
that entire guitar part
beautifully
is just,
done.
Gosh, it gets me every time.
Also, though, you've got a lot of sexy songs on here too. I thought Falling Sideways was really devilish in a way, which is a cool contrast to Angels Over You. You really hit home all of the big notes.
Yeah,
Life,
Falling
death.
Sideways kind of caught me off guard too when I was in the studio. I was like, I don't know if we should put this out. This is really out there.
Yeah, it's hard, like being super vulnerable for sure with your art.
And then also, I mean, for you as well. I mean, I think that's like part of the reason that this is so cool, of just you listening to all the songs. And that's kind of the way it's always been. Like beforehand, we'd kind of give you like some things that we were seeing in our heads, but this time it was just truly like, listen to the music. What does this make you feel? What do you see? And then just go for it.
I listened to it like 4 times in a row the first time when I was trying to come up with ideas. And every time it just got better and better and better. And then I listened to it again this morning to like remind myself of all my initial thoughts. And geez Louise, it's freaking awesome. Are we allowed to cuss on this?
Oh, yeah. It's my podcast. Okay, cool. You're good.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. I can't wait for everybody to hear the rest of the album.
But I just thought, I think it's so cool too, because, you know, you're taking my art and then visualizing it the way that you would, which becomes another version of art. And I that's why I was like, whatever you do is perfect.
Okay, that totally is a perfect segue into something that I thought about this morning. You write about sleep so much and like insomnia, I think. That's what I'm picking up. I have had the worst insomnia like my whole entire life. And it totally makes sense that it translates really well into your music writing, because it is, you know, it's your body wanting so bad to go to sleep, but your brain won't let it. And it's cool to see the way that, I don't know, even dreams, the Skeleton series, for one, was really dreamy. And I took a lot of inspiration from, like, you know, Dolly and stuff that I dream about and, you know, your writing. And I just think it's cool the way that you talk about sleep. It is.
Oh, yeah. It's like the one thing that everyone's like, would you just go to sleep? And then as soon as you try, it's just constant thoughts just running around. And
yeah. And also the way that correlates to death, too.
Yeah. I love your... Sleep when you're dead, you know? Gosh dang. No, this is just crazy. So, like, I guess the first time that you did listen through, what was it like for you?
It felt really, really epic, but also kind of timeless and classic. And in a way that I think the plains and going with a landscape kind of opened up different avenues for like more hand-drawn art, I suppose. Yeah. So that's why I was excited to finally put away the collage technique that everybody saw in the Skeleton series, and actually put paint to paper. And I got like a cool scanner. So each one of these I did by hand and scanned them in and collaged them all together. But it also felt a lot more mature, and it seemed like you were writing a lot more about life rather than death. Yeah. And I thought that was really awesome. And it's kind of like not a 180, because you still hit all of the same themes, but it definitely seemed like it was time for a fresh new idea.
Yeah. So. And I mean, you absolutely killed it on all of this. I mean, just front to back. I mean, that's freaking amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my artwork.
I think your mom actually sent me a photo. So
yeah, I forgot.
When she in the
we also got to talk about that part too, because my mom was like, "Hey, Chloe's been texting me," and I was like,
"That was the biggest thing, though, with creating this crowd of people. I wanted it to be people significant to you in your life and this album, and your whole entire family helped me out so much with that. We were all in a big group message together, and we sent like 50 plus family photos.
Which just cracked me up, just because I was like my parents stay out of most of the business stuff. But that I was
I'm shocked at how much this actually turned out to look like your real life in Oklahoma.
Shoot. I mean, I just get lost in your art. Truly, I just can't stop looking and looking and looking, and you know, we were kind of talking about the ADHD thing before we started this, and just
we use it to our advantage.
God, I love it. But so, how was it with those? Painting those? Did you paint those?
All of these bowls, I know you got each individual. Yeah, each individual aspect I painted, but when I got deeper into it, then I started messing around and kind of making it more trippy, I suppose. A little bit more chaotic, which is just my style, I suppose.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, this is actually a dream come true. And when I sent it to my parents, the final design, we were talking about this earlier. My stepdad's a huge fan of yours. They didn't even know that I made your artwork for like the first 2 years of him being your fan. So I was like, yeah, that's me, that's my stuff.
And then one day they just were like, hey, so this is yours?
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, they wanted to be here today.
Well, I wish you would have brought them. That's just funny and gosh dang. So, sorry, I'm still getting lost in all this. This is just crazy. All the little details that you put into it as well.
The personal aspects really, I think, brought it to a whole nother level. Also, okay, let's dive into the booklet here. The booklet was really my favorite part of this whole entire package. It was a chance to kind of pull everything apart and kind of give it their own moment to shine, paired with the lyrics, because I obviously tore apart all of your lyrics in a good way. I mean, I hope. See, I love that you give me freedom to do that.
Oh, it's the coolest thing.
It's definitely a huge honor.
It's my art and it's your art.
And it's cool to have, that kind of artistic, creative relationship with another artist where, I don't know, you just trust me, I guess.
I just love where you take things. And I feel like you represent them kind of like your art just kind of, for some reason, I guess, calms me in a way, if that makes sense. When I get to just sit there.
You're like, wow, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I've never really been to art museums or anything like that, but I have been to a lot of places that people have artwork inside their house, and it just kind of it bores me, I guess. And and I don't mean art is art. I have the utmost respect for anyone that's capable of drawing, but or painting or anything like that. But your artwork has always just been mesmerizing,
definitely not boring.
And definitely not boring. And I remember doing the photo shoot inside your house earlier, or your studio this year, and just looking at everything else that you've been creating and the details that you add into it all. It just
details are.
It makes me want to try, but I'm like too scared because I'm watching you, the professional, just go after it.
If you sat down and actually tried, I'm sure you wouldn't be. Terrible.
You got to see a stick figure first. It's pretty bad. I can't even get one person down.
Okay, so also a huge part of this entire package is the color red. And I think that a little birdie told me that you're in love for the first time.
Oh, well.
And so that just kind of, I think, fit with, themes of passion and all the good, bad, pretty, and ugly that comes along with that. And I think it turned out so great in the package, in print.
Yeah.
Let's show the vinyls. Yeah. Here's the splatter. It's a little bit different than photographed or than advertised, but it's still so sick.
Oh, man.
The red is definitely my favorite. It's so slick.
And initially, when you listened to Welcome to the Plains, was that the first song that you listened to off the album?
Oh, yeah.
And so immediately did your mind just go straight to it?
I think I listened to them in order.
Okay.
But
I couldn't remember if we gave, because I know we gave you like a rough draft, I think, before.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it was the same track list, just in a different order, actually. So, but yes, Welcome to the Plains was definitely the first. And it just skyrocketed the entire composition.
Man, this is...
I actually went to Italy too, like halfway through. So when I got home and I was finishing all of the artwork, it was right after I went to Florence and saw all of the Renaissance art. And I think that this is one of the first projects that actually came out the way that I was picturing it in my head. And I was picturing it like a Renaissance painting of like people carrying Jesus, essentially. I mean, you were going to be thrown off a cliff at first, but I was trying to hit home that idea of like, I don't know.
Sorry, it still cracks me up. Well, I was
savior,
gonna have
I suppose, or a fallen savior, or, but I'm really happy with it, and I'm glad that you responded to it emotionally too.
Well, I mean,
because it was an emotional process for me. I cried a lot.
I've cried too over this album a couple times, man. It was an experience that I've never had before, but then honestly, just to hear your insight on Oh Susanna and how, because it does, I don't know, it's coming back my way, and I'm sitting there getting all emotional just because these people were the people that I fell back on when I did have to take my break, and to just come to that realization of that's kind of what inspired you to do it this way. I've kind of choked up and kind of not sure what to say at this point, because I'm like, oh my gosh.
My favorite is definitely Stillwater. I listened to it like 4 times in a row this morning, and I was jamming so hard. I think that is what definitely made the fire spread across the whole thing.
Because I remember when we did get on the phone, same way you do in the booklet of just going through, picking apart the lyrics. I remember you telling me what the lyrics were too, and you had shared that note with me, and you were like, this line and this line and this line.
I even did a little bit of writing, and I referenced that.
Oh yeah, and
I'm not the best writer, so don't read into it too deeply, but it's cute. It's sweet.
Still, just everything.
I'm excited to watch you play all of these songs live. Watching you play live is a totally different experience than hearing a recording. Truly, the first show that I wrote about this on the last spread in the booklet, the first show that I went to of yours that was like totally sold out, jam-packed, was at Brooklyn Bowl, and everyone in the crowd knew every single word to all of your songs, and like there were several people like crying and like hugging each other, and I was like welling up, like just watching it all happen. And yeah, I went home, I was like, that boy's a damn star.
That boy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it was a crazy chaotic night that night, but I was so happy that you got to come out to the show and we got to talk and just, I don't know, because you've helped me through all of this. I mean, I'll never forget the first time sitting down and having coffee with you.
Yeah, I know. We were like babies back then.
I know. And then
we really were. My art was so much worse.
No, it's not. And then,
but it's gotten so much better. And that's kind of been really fun, I think, between the two of us, making things kind of side by side over several years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't have like an artistic partnership with like any other creative like that. So,
well, I
feel honored.
I was talking to someone about it, I think earlier today, of just like watching all of this grow and then also getting to do it with the same people. And they kept asking me why I keep using we or us, and they're just talking to me, and I'm like, well, it's because of all the people that have, been there, and doing this, and you've been a part of my musical journey of creating the album art, and I feel like that's the coolest thing ever, that we've gotten to grow together, and to see what you've done here is just, I'm speechless. It's just amazing.
You're my boy for sure.
And
I knew that from the first time that we sat down and had coffee too. Yeah.
I remember just walking away, and I was like,
William
she's
and
going to do awesome.
You guys are my boys.
Yeah.
And it's easy to make stuff for you because you're always creating. You've made so much work in such a small amount of time. It is like, it's pretty mind blowing, and it's definitely really inspiring also as an artist. And I don't know, it kind of makes me want to like one up each cover, every time. It's got to be better. It's got to be better than the last one. When we finished the Skeleton series, okay, because the half-life was obviously, I think it was the best compositionally. And I don't know, coming out of that, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, gosh, how am I going to live up? Because the skeleton was so awesome. But no, I think Welcome to the Plains totally blows it out of the water. Especially because it's hand done. So
And how long did it take you to paint?
Like 3 months. No, that's an exaggeration. Like 2. Not paint. It took me 2 months to finish the whole package. But to paint, I think that took me like 3 weeks.
So can you walk me through, I
started with you. And actually, you can see in the booklet a couple versions where, I don't know if you looked totally right.
The 1, 2, 3.
And then from there, I started just painting a ton of bison and bulls and horses. And then actually, okay, so with the field, this is across 2 canvases that are still in my room. And then I painted the night version just over the same exact canvas.
And now, was that to size, that canvas?
Yeah.
Is it?
Actually, it's a little bit larger.
Okay.
So this shrunk down a touch, but yeah, I've got all of that still sitting in my studio. I should have brought it. Gosh. It would have been fun to show off the...
I'd be scared to transport it.
Version.
Gosh, dang.
But yeah, that was really fun just being able to do it by hand, in person, then and there, rather than staring at a screen the whole time, because graphic design isn't my, favorite of all of the artistic endeavors that are my hobbies, I guess, on the side. Painting is definitely my jam. Yeah, I really enjoy it.
So you went to school then, right?
Yes, I went to UGA, University of Georgia.
Heck yeah. And then
I moved to Nashville because it's an awesome music town. That's actually, we just met because we both moved here at the same time. And it was recommended through like a friend. But that's why I picked Nashville, because it's an awesome music town. And I definitely think that that's my niche as far as area of interest. I like to fill in the holes, where creative hands are needed, I suppose.
So
I haven't even made you a claymation yet. We should talk about that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, seriously, anything that you want help with, I'm always there.
Well, I'm yes, and yes. This is just awesome to see it not on an email chain and actual in person.
Where's it going to go from here? That's the question.
Well, that
I guess we'll see.
Crosses my mind.
We'll see. we'll cross that bridge when
we get there.
That's kind of my other favorite thing about all of you guys, is the way that everyone works is very much like in the moment, making things happen as they come. And that has made this whole entire process feel really natural and never really stressful. And even if the art is, comes to you guys late, which it probably has on more than one occasion.
Well, I think there's been a couple times.
It's never a problem.
Talked to you and we're like, hey, we couldn't got this song that we're going to drop. Is there any way you can get artwork done?
Oh yeah. But I work fast on my feet, so it's okay.
So at what age was it for you where you were like, I'm going to do this?
It was, I think junior year of high school. I actually started getting really bad anxiety, and sports were my big thing. But then I started having anxiety attacks on the soccer field, and I was like, I don't like this anymore. My friends are yelling at me. So I was like, I'm going to try art, because I always really wanted to. And then it just fit. It really did. It was like an escape.
And it was kind of calming.
Yes. Yes. And it helped with my mental health, and I'm sure you feel the same way about songwriting.
Oh, for sure. And
it almost helps you organize your thoughts better when you're channeling them into, your practice.
But does it ever get that way for you nowadays where you're making all this stuff, and do you still get anxiety from it? Or
honestly, yeah, anxiety is like a thing that I deal with every single day, as I'm sure we all do. But art is really honing in on a specific project and trying to make an idea come to life takes so much energy that it really does bring you to like a meditative state. I think that, I'm constantly chasing after every day. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace of mind. But I had so much fun making this entire package, this whole project. And making art for you has always been really fun because your writing is fun and interesting. And you write about ideas that are really deep and existential and make you think about serious shit. So I think that makes me want to make art that also, moves the audience, I guess.
Every single time I see what you do with the art, it just fires me up even more.
Thank you.
And it gives it more meaning for me as well. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, like a lot of it is unspoken.
Yeah.
It's just, we get each other.
For sure. And so, what are your Easter eggs? Like your favorite Easter egg out of this entire thing?
Some of my favorite Easter eggs are definitely the family members who...
Oh, where'd it go? I just had it in here. But I love that. Oh, yeah. Where was it? Was it this one?
The spread...
Oh, there it is. Yeah, and that's, and I love that because it's got our little Flores, and we still got it in my home that I grew up in, and
these are a lot of lyrics from Little Town, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome song. I love the way you talk about home.
But I love that you put a lot of that family in there, and that just meant the absolute world to me, especially that picture of them too, because, gosh dang, yeah. That song, just with, their dementia and everything that they had, it just kind of put it in that perspective of like, what would it be like if you started losing your mind? And have you ever thought about that? Like if you lost like your best friend, and then later down the road, if you didn't have like a recording of their voice or something like that, or videos, could you remember their voice? Like, don't spin out on it like I do. But like, I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but that's kind of where that song came around.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you've got a lot of deeper meaning to a lot of your songs that I don't know that I necessarily pick up on all the time, but hearing you talk about it makes it a lot more meaningful, and it makes me understand why, it hits the audience so deeply. So I think that Emiliano Zapata, he was a Mexican revolutionary, and he led the Liberation Army and basically fought to redistribute land to the peasants all throughout Mexico. And I don't know why that kind of just made me think of you. And I think that you do have, a great way of always referencing, the place where that you came from. And even though, you are essentially up higher now in life, you came from the same place and you always will be from there. And it's important never to forget that. And, I guess, yeah, you just did a really great job of doing that in this.
Well, thank you.
Am I sound like a complete idiot right now?
No, not at all. I do think it's crazy though that,
Yeah, you guys can cut all the dumb stuff, right?
I do think it's crazy though, because I wanted to get out of Stillwater so bad, and I was like, Nashville will never be my forever, but I was like, I'm ready to just get out of that
I wanted to get
town.
out of my hometown too.
And then now it's kind of like the only, I'm
though.
fighting back to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
And
that was another big reason why I wanted to do like the crowd taking you away. You always write about like wanting to go back home. like missing home, or like someone not being there that you wish was there and being pulled away. And yeah, that definitely played a huge role in the crowd carrying you off.
Because like Way Back Home was one of like the first arts that you did as well.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite covers too. And
off of the album arts that you've done, like besides like Half-Life, like can you kind of walk me through some of these first ones that you kind of did?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like, please don't go. What was that like when you first took that
so
one
the
in?
Skeleton series was absolutely inspired by, you talking about death all the time. And you really, really were set on the skeleton too. It was actually Wyatt's idea, the idea of the skeleton, just so everybody knows. You came to me and you were like, I have this idea of this skeleton walking along in the world, in life, maybe in the afterlife, maybe, I don't know, in space. You gave me like 3 things. You're like a skeleton, space, definitely workspace in there. And then you were like large landscapes. And that was a really, really great ensemble of notes that you wanted me to hit, because it kind of led into this Dali-esque world of like dreamy space cowboy skeletons just roaming around and getting into trouble and going down new paths and entering different portals and whatnot. And I think that I had so much fun with that. Yeah, gosh, looking at them all. Break My Bones, that song's so good. I listened to that again this morning too. That's a hard favorite. Stillwater, though, is definitely my new favorite. Let's talk more about my favorites.
Because Holes was one of my favorite artworks that you ever did.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that one's a photo of your family that you gave me, and you were like, can you turn all of us into skeletons?
Oh, yeah. Gosh dang. Yeah, this is...
So did you crash your car?
Oh, yeah.
Which one? That Ain't Proud?
It's actually, yeah, a true story.
Do tell.
Well, pretty much, it's not as crazy. So I guess for the album art on this one, like Ain't Proud, and then I got that other song off Life Lessons, 313. They're the same story. It's just having a different point of view from them. And yeah, basically, I ran around playing shows and not sleeping, and next thing you know, go to a party, and then after that party, just on a back road and put it in the ditch. But I mean, I wasn't even going fast. I was going about 10 miles an hour, just cruising on a back road and not proud of it.
What's the fastest? Okay, this might be this is just a question that I'm curious about.
Go for it.
What's like the fastest song that you've ever written? It just like came to you in the moment.
Traveling Kid was one of the first ones where I experienced, and that was like the first song I wrote, and that happened in probably 30 minutes. And then,
are you serious?
And then me and David Duvall, me and him wrote Wildcat and Devil in 30 minutes.
Dang.
He had half of Devil, and I had already written another song that wasn't called Devil, and then we just put them together, and yeah, wrote.
Magic of the moment.
Crazy. Those were some of the fastest songs that have ever been written. And other than that, yeah, it takes a little while. Holes took me, I think, 5 hours. I'm just sitting there and...
That's so bonkers to me.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because it takes like so long to
and it's just
get
a couple
an idea
lines
down on paper, you know.
Way Back Home was an easy one too. And I just thought it was just... I don't know. I've been trying to get better at being simpler and not dragging everything out so long and giving every detail. And
sometimes it's the simple things too that really hit home for people. And I don't know, something that really inspires me about music. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not great with words at all. And I don't even know how to describe my own feelings, but sometimes a song will describe everything that you're feeling in a way that you never even thought to word it. And that's definitely, the power of it. I hope eventually I'll be able to do something like that. But I think
you already have.
Yeah. With this, I hope people really respond well.
Art is crazy, just in general.
Art's bonkers, man. Art moves.
It does. And you're giving me the insight on all this stuff, and I'm just sitting there going, that's crazy. Just because, music led you here. And then you give the art to us, and then it's like, well, now it takes the music to a whole nother level. And I can't get over that.
But the music definitely came from, your home, I think, specifically in this album. You write a lot about the land that you walk across.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking.
So cheesy. You really do. And you think about the people that have also walked across that same land and the way that it's changed over time or hasn't changed. I think that's why I wanted to bring in some Oklahoma famous, I guess, old people, dead people. How do I say that?
Gosh. I'm just now, just from you talking, I'm realizing how many themes I've had over the years. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that does.
They do all end up coming back to the same thread, though.
Gosh dang. Which is exactly how I feel, I guess. I don't know. It's all
red dirt boy from Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, maybe not exactly that. But
emo boy. You are an emo boy. That was also something I literally wrote in here. I was like, Wyatt is the emo boy of country music.
Honestly.
That's what I told my stepdad when I showed him. I showed him your stuff, and he's obsessed with you now. And he forgot that I made the artwork for you. And he came to me and was like, you heard this Wyatt Flores guy? I was like, yeah, Tim, I make all of his artwork. I literally showed you who this artist is. But I told him when I first started making album artwork for you. It was when Break My Bones came out. I sent it to Tim and I was like, he's the emo boy of country music. Listen to how hard this song rips.
God, I don't even know if you could have seen my eyes that day whenever we met for coffee because of how long my damn hair was. Good
Lord. My gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You're wearing like a pink Hawaiian t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which you still rock, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I think I still got it. Gosh dang. Yeah, that's... So what kept inspiring you through it all? Because I know you latched on to a lot of the main themes, which is awesome to...
Yeah, well, Welcome to the Plains and the way that you talked about, the Native Americans, and I kind of started getting this idea of just thinking about the history of America and everything, the pushing of the Native American community out west and further, and then the decimation of the bison population, and a little bit of, I don't know, I would say dark themes at first, which is it's not to say that this was a dark album by any means, but, there's a lot about life that is really dark, and
yeah, shining
some
some
light
on the truth.
With it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad that you took it to this part, because, it was kind of an awkward thing for me to even... put in the music video and stuff like that, because I didn't want people getting the wrong idea. I'm just trying to shine some light on some of the darkness that I feel like keeps getting, kicked underneath the rug, and I'm so happy that you added that element to it. Even though I'm not sure if I'm Native American, and I know a lot of people ask me if I am, but I don't really know completely what I am. But yeah, I'm just glad that we got to kind of highlight that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And hit home on because you write a lot about shame, and not necessarily the word. I don't even know if you've ever used the word shame, but that is definitely something that I think
it's in there.
plays a huge role in, our own individual mental health. And there should be a ton of shame for what we did to the Native American population, certainly. But that is a big part of life that artists, I think, have a hard time not talking about or mentioning, because putting your art out there in the first place, you're like, oh my gosh, you guys probably don't even want to see this, but here you go.
It's
here's
scary.
what I think about the world, and I don't know, I think that was just a big idea that came out of listening to your album, that it's a part of life,
Yeah, and quite frankly, it's still going on to this day. They're still trying to go through it all, and I don't know, I feel like there's still a lot of stories that aren't being told, and I'm glad that we're at least shining a little bit of light on it. I want to go deeper into it, so I might actually have some more artwork like this if that's where it draws you.
Seriously.
But I just haven't
Wherever
done enough
the writing
research.
goes, that's where the art will go.
Well, I can't thank you enough for
I think it was incredibly moving, though, to hear you say something so plainly. You say a lot of things really plainly, but I'm gonna
welcome to
open
the
up.
plane. I'm just kidding.
Full of puns over here.
Oh yeah, got dad jokes for days.
How much of it? It's hard talking about your own work, because you do write something and you do say something, and we are showing something, but sometimes it's still difficult to talk about.
I'm having a hard time doing it too. Plus, this is my first time finally getting to hold it in my hand, so I'm lost in it all. But gosh dang, I mean, even that call that you gave me, I think I was out feeding cows at the time too, and got on the phone with you, and you just started telling me all your ideas, and then I had seen like a little piece of what you had already started on, and I was like, yeah, this is already going in the right direction. And just hearing how excited you were about it, I knew this was going to be a masterpiece. And then to see it right here in my hands, I'm just in awe. Like that, you've just outdone yourself time and time again, and then to see this is just, I'm
reading this line over again. Now it's red dirt, tears, and broken mirrors in a little trailer park just south of here. End of the world is getting near, but I still feel the same. And it's red dirt, poor, and wanting more. That totally stuck with me. Like, just wanting more. The desire to get to that point where you do feel self-actualized, like you are working at your fullest potential, I suppose. And you got there so much faster than I did at your age, at least. Not that I'm there yet, but I'm thinking about it a lot more these days, like the intentionality behind the art that you create and what you're putting out there in the world, and making sure that it is, you're truly hitting home the idea that you're being intentional. I'm trying to be more intentional with my art, and I think that your writing was so much more intentional, and that's what I'm trying to say. I can understand, exactly what you were trying to say, because you don't walk around anything. You really do cut right down to the bone.
And how is it for you, even besides this album art, just with your own art?
I have no idea. I don't even know if I have anything of value to say, but
I mean,
I think I'll get there. It takes, I'm not amazing with words, as you all can tell right here, right now.
No, you're good.
But I do think that I have a really strong voice. And so being able to kind of embody your voice through my art really helps it come out a lot easier.
Heck yeah.
It's a partnership.
It is. But I guess I'm really interested on your side of things, of just like the inspiration that you get. And then do you ever lose inspiration when you're just making art for yourself?
Honestly, no. Like, I mean, yes, obviously I'll run out of energy because it takes a lot of energy to create something brand new. But like, ideas are always bouncing around. And I'm sure you do this too. Like, you'll have an idea and you'll be sitting on it for sometimes years.
Yeah.
And then it'll come back to you and you're like, wow, I actually know how to execute this now. And I'm really glad that I didn't forget about this. That's totally, I have like lists in my phone of like painting ideas and like just, I don't know, random ideas. And honestly, sometimes you'll send me a song and then I'll go through my phone and I'll be like, wow, this is exactly what this is exactly what needed to, spearhead this coming to life. But yeah, no, it's definitely more whenever I wake up in the morning, if I'm feeling, how every day when you wake up, sometimes you're not feeling, your best. Sometimes it's all about channeling it. I definitely have gotten a lot more work done when I tend to channel my depression into my art. Yeah. I tend to paint the feelings away a lot, and it helps.
It is. It's very therapeutical. And I don't know. I've always wondered that if that's kind of like, because sometimes for me when I'm writing, I get like burnout, I guess, pretty much. Or the inspiration isn't really there.
Yeah, burnout is so real.
And like when the inspiration...
It's really important to take time just... If you want to lay on the couch and watch a ton of movies, if that's what your brain needs in order to like be able to actually make something of substance later down the road, then, I do it.
And I guess like, what was like... I don't know. I'm just so curious about it because as much as it's different, it's also the same. So I guess like what was like people always ask me, they're like, what was like your favorite song to write? What was like the first time where you sat back and looked at something you had made and you just couldn't believe it?
It was actually a drawing that I did of my mom in high school. It was like a portrait of her. And I don't know, when I finished it, I just looked at it and I was like, that looks like her. I was like, what the heck? Like, I did that. And it like totally shocked me. I mean, probably how Traveling Kid felt.
I mean, yeah, kind of just sitting back and going,
just like, oh, that just came out of me. I just did that.
And then I guess, how does it feel with everyone like seeing all your artwork, and tagging you? Because I see them tagging you now.
That's bonkers. It's especially, this project specifically. For my college exit show, I made a bunch of fake vinyls. And so having this and holding it in my hands, and I don't know, it is a dream come true, seriously. It's a huge milestone in my own artistic career. Huge milestone.
Gosh dang. So you just you were telling me that you kind of just made fake finals, right, for your project?
Yeah.
Have you sent this to your professor yet?
I haven't, but I should. I literally almost, okay. Yeah, I almost failed out of art school, seriously.
No kidding.
Yeah, because I couldn't show up on time, okay? And because I've got sleep problems. It was like impossible for me to wake up on time, but a lot of the classes that I really wanted were like early classes. And also, I'm definitely a really chaotic artist, and that is not every professor's jam. So, I don't know, I wouldn't say that, they were big fans of my work, but maybe they will be now.
I'm definitely noticing how much we're alike. Yeah, definitely had some teachers that were not too fond of me.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I have thought about it though, actually. I totally am when I get home. Not as like a sucker, but as like this is what you taught me.
That's crazy though. Well,
Took a lot to get here.
but you still passed, right?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, that's
eventually.
better than me. I was college dropout right here. And
Fist bump.
goodness, I got
Honestly,
more
it
questions.
seems like, your talent was definitely always in there. Which maybe art kind of was for me too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always love hearing you talk about art just because of how passionate you are about it, but you do it because you have to. Like, there's no other option
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
compulsive.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's not like, I kind of like to just sit down every now and then. And it's like, no, I have to.
It's like I can't sleep and my fingers won't stop moving.
Which that kind of creative.
Creative energies, that's definitely what I think, that's what we connect on,
And
that level.
yeah, even if I'm not songwriting, they're usually like, "Why you gotta do something around here because you're just going bonkers, bouncing off the walls."
Yeah. Little Energizer Bunny, that's what my sisters used to call me.
How was it for you when you had to kill off the skeleton?
That was honestly kind of devastating for a sec. I was like racking my brain. This was before I heard the new album, Welcome to the Plains. So it was really just like trying to come up with new ideas without having music for it yet. Like knowing that a whole entire, we were going to do a whole entire new theme. Because we all went out, I went out to eat with William and Braden, and they were like, so we have this idea of killing off the skeleton. And I was like,
And you're
okay,
like,
well, I need the
wow.
music then, ASAP, so that we can start coming up with new ideas. But honestly, I was glad to let it go. It opened up a lot more opportunity for some higher forms of art, I suppose. That's what I would consider this album, this package to be.
But
But it was really, it was sad, but it was also exciting and thrilling at the same time. I was like, wow, we're really doing something new now.
It definitely got me too, which I had already heard the music, so I was excited to kind of like put it down. But yeah, honestly, it was kind of a sad little ending of just cutting off that era and starting the new chapter. And honestly, you're making me think about everything that's gone on in the past, 2 years, 2.5 years now, and just where this journey has gone. And I mean, you're getting to do like this full time completely, right?
Yeah. Well, I work for a children's publishing company as like an illustrator and graphic
That's freaking
creative director, I suppose. But art is my full-time gig. I wake up every day now. I have a mission.
How cool is that to say, though?
You do too.
I mean,
it feels really, I don't know, calming. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. So I know what I'm good at. I'm not that I'm not good at anything else, but it is definitely a calling. And when I was a younger kid, I always kind of had like an inkling or like a desire to be an artist. I was like, that's so cool. And then I grew into one.
And then one of your books was that like the #1 right spot on Amazon Books.
Oh yeah, I did.
The donut book, right?
Cultured Donuts was behind this vinyl packaging. The book was the largest project that I've ever taken on. And it's a book of paintings, donut paintings, and they're all done in these different styles all throughout art history. And it's basically done in the stylistic choice of, artists who kind of made me in a way. So it starts from like Da Vinci and goes all the way to Pablo Picasso donut, a Monet donut, a Basquiat donut. And it's wild. It's really cool. It's supposed to help kids learn how art has each artist is essentially building their own voice off of other artists.
Yeah.
And it's a really beautiful way to create something new, I think. And
then you probably see them evolve over the years as well.
Exactly. And each person we all take in the world and then our brain absorbs it, and it's interesting to see the way that it's spat back out.
Yeah. Which is so cool, though. I mean, I've never been able to really know what art... I don't know.
It's strange. It's not like it's purposefully trying to move you. You really never know what art is going to move you, but when it does, it like can change your whole world.
Definitely.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel that way about your songs.
Man, I just love this conversation so much just because it's so cool to see that side. Like, I've never really gotten to fully deep dive, I guess, into that side of art. You know, like this side of art, you can listen to it and
the impact that it has on other people.
And then other art, it, like you said, it'll either move you or it won't.
Songs have like a really cool snowball effect, though, because like you can send it to someone and then that person will send it to 10 other people, and each person is impacted by it differently. It's beautiful.
And what was like one of the first paintings that moved you, I guess?
My gosh, everything in Florence moved me. It was right after I finished the paintings for this, when I went and saw all of the artwork from the Renaissance era, I was like, this is where I would have fit in, because it's just like rainbow all over the place, and they're trying to like fit as many people on the canvas at one time as possible, and it's organized chaos, sometimes not even organized, but it's very chaotic and abundant and exuberant, and that is definitely the way my brain works. So the way I think your brain works too, for sure. I think that's seeing all of the artwork in the Uffizi specifically, definitely. I walked out of there crying so hard. Same with the Vatican. The Sistine Chapel, I was like bawling my eyes out. I had like scare marks like going horizontal across my face because I was just looking up the whole time crying. Oh.
So another thing that I'm really curious about, you keep showing me kind of the main themes that I've had throughout my music and what's kind of kept you going on making the art. On your stuff, though, what are some of the main themes that you see in yourself when you're creating?
These days, specifically in my painting, I'm really just trying to evoke something like honest and real. Like at first when I started really delving into, my own artistic practice, it felt like everything that I was doing was really polished and taking forever to complete, and I was overthinking all of the ideas like crazy. But like the best ideas are the mundane things that happen to you every single day, because that's what's honest about the way that you view the world. And I had this professor tell me one time, and it always stuck with me. He was like, it's literally an artist's job to record what's going on in any given point of time.
Yeah.
So just responding to the world around you is, I don't know, I guess how I make art, how I get ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which is exactly, same way music is.
Yeah.
Capture the time and place.
So right now I'm doing a lot of paintings of like musician interiors, because all of my friends around Nashville are all musicians, and I think that the tech that you guys use is so interesting. And so it's so crazy that you guys know what all these buttons do. Like what?
Yeah.
So I've been painting like a lot of like pedal boards and amps and I don't know, landscapes also, and nature mixed in, plants. But also I've been doing a lot of portraits, and I'm really inspired by music. Really inspired. It's actually like the first thing that ever spoke to me as a kid.
And then it just, I don't know, that's cool as all get out, because I didn't know if you'd just always grown up and was just always, either drawing or doing paintings, or or how that came about, but that makes more sense why you came to Nashville, because I was curious.
I was a
about
music fan before I was ever an artist.
Goodness.
I really was.
Gosh dang.
My iPod shuffle is attached to me. It's clipped onto my shirt all the time. But I think that is the reason why I wanted really bad to be an artist too. I knew I didn't have the music in me, but I knew that there was something in me, and I was like, sometimes the only thing that'll bring me to the canvas is putting my headphones on and jamming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely go hand in hand with each other.
For sure.
I jam so hard. I was jamming to the whole album this morning.
We got to get you some speakers going on in there.
No, I like it. I like the...
quietness.
What is it? Sound canceling?
Oh, yeah. No, that's the way to go.
Yeah, also, I don't want to bug my roommate.
No, that's true. Yeah, you can't do that now. Man, I can't thank you enough, Chloe, for everything you've done.
I'm really glad that, you like my art enough to want to keep using it.
Oh, heck yeah.
I seriously thought like the first cover that I made for you is going to be like a one and done.
No, I loved it as soon as we got it.
Look where we are now.
So speaking of the first cover, we have a little surprise for you here.
What?
And we'd like to say thank you to you, because without you, this song, any of my music would never have... I don't know how to put it. It's such a spiritual thing that goes on between, what you do for the music, and it means the absolute world to us. And we're happy to present this to you.
What? Shut the fuck up.
It is yours.
What? Oh my god, dude. What? This is the coolest thing I've ever owned. Oh. It's the coolest thing anyone's ever given me.
Are you freaking out?
I'm freaking out. This is the first cover. Dude, this is so freaking cool. You're the best.
And I love that they put the vinyl up above. You kind of see behind it. I don't know. They did a dang good job on it.
Shit. Dude, this is insane.
But thank you from all of us.
Wyatt, thank you.
This is...
God, dude. This is awesome. You're the bomb.
I still can't believe it. I just started in that little coffee shop there in Nashville.
I know. I love you, buddy.
I love you too. Thank you for everything, though.
I'm really excited to see, where things go from here.
I promise you that ain't gonna be the last one.
I don't. Definitely not. Definitely not. Honestly, we're just gonna keep making cooler shit from here on.
Sounds good to me.
It's gonna get better every time. Just you all wait.
Thank you, Chloe, for being here.
I'm revved up.
This is
I can't wait to go home and put it in my studio. It's going to look so good in my studio. Seriously.
You got to send me a picture of where you put it.
Okay.
Gosh,
oh, yeah, for sure. Wow.
I'm just at loss.
Thanks, guys. Y'all
thank you for being here. And I'm just...
Thanks for having me.
This is freaking cool.
I'm really glad that, we finally got to chat about this. I'm sure a lot of this you didn't even know.
No, this has been so much fun to hear everything. But yeah, it's just been awesome working with you. And I don't know. I don't even want to know what it'd be like if there was other art made. Yeah. Chloe, you are
no need to worry about
fantastic. And I hope everyone now knows who Chloe Tyler is, who makes all this incredible artwork. And I will say this, I agree with all the fans. You do make the best artwork out of anyone else.
Well, it's seriously
they can't
all
compete
inspired
with you, Chloe.
by you.
I don't like to be that kind of cocky guy, but you do make the best art. So thank you.
Thank you.
And
I'm blown away by you constantly, so I can't wait to see where we go from here.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be really fun.
Well, we'll call that a wrap.
Certified platinum single.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
So yeah, here's to the debut album, and from the start and the beginning to where we're at now. I can't thank you enough, Chloe, and for joining Wyatt Flores and Friends podcast.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I love being here, and I love talking about it all. There's lots to chat about, so.
Gosh dang.
I'll be back, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.